What's up, YouTube? It's Hello Scott. I'm going to be reacting to Goku's best training camp ever. Not much else to say. Let's just get into it.
Throughout Dragon Ball, it's no secret that Goku trains year round. He's doing resistance training, cardio, shadowboxing,
Mm,
sparring. He's in the
mm.
gym, bro. But there are many times in the series where he ramps things up to the next level and has a full on training camp to prepare for a big challenge. So, this video, I'm going to be talking about what Goku's best training camp in DBZ was and why. So, let's bring up all of his camps from the Saiyan saga all the way up until the Buu saga. His first training was at
To be fair, wouldn't it obviously be him, that 7 year heaven gap? Wouldn't it obviously be that? If there's anything could even possibly come close. Well, no, still. I mean, what can come close to that? He unlocked Super Saiyan 2 and 3. Unless but if he's talking about on screen, then, the next strongest would be the Cell Saga. But I don't know exactly how he's doing this. Or maybe he's doing it based off like gains, but at the same time it's off. Let me just watch the video. I'm thinking too hard.
King Kai's planet after the fight with Raditz, where Goku trained under 10 times Earth's gravity for 158 days to prepare himself for the Saiyans. He got a lot stronger and faster as a result of this training, and he also
But I will say them pre-Namek gains, that was crucial. That was like crucial.
learned the Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb, two techniques that helped him out tremendously not just in the fight with the Saiyans, but in the show as a whole. His next training was on the way to Namek, where he spent only 6 days training in the gravity machine and he worked his way up to 100 times Earth's gravity.
Mm.
This was a grueling training, not sustainable without the senzu beans that Goku had for instant recovery. But it resulted in Goku again becoming much more powerful, which is a common theme with all of his trainings, but also mastering the Kaioken, now being able to use Kaioken times 10 and later on against Frieza Kaioken times 20. Whereas on Earth, after his King Kai training, he was only able to crack Kaioken times 4 for like a brief second in the beam struggle against Vegeta. Next, we have Goku's training on Yardrat between the Namek Saga and the Android
Again,
Saga. Now, we don't know too much about this training, except that it was probably mainly focused on improving ki control and learning new skills, notably the instantaneous transmission. And I mean, Goku definitely did get stronger than he was on Namek, though, seeing as how he was having a competitive fight against Frieza until Frieza gassed out in the championship rounds. But he seemed to be stronger than Trunks, who made light work of Frieza on Earth. And Goku for sure also had a better grasp on the Super Saiyan form than he did on Namek too. He was just so casual transforming in front of Trunks, and he had that finger that he powered up too. I don't know, the finger probably doesn't mean anything, but bro, look at this. What is he doing? Next up, we have the 3-year training Goku had with Piccolo and Gohan in preparation for the androids. During this training, Goku
both
didn't learn
boy,
any new
definitely.
skills,
Piccolo. Let's take a moment to honor Piccolo's drip. Let's just take a moment, man. It's unfathomable.
least not that we saw, but overall he became a better, more powerful fighter, except he had a heart attack when he had to showcase that. But I'm just gonna be honest straight off the bat, this is definitely not Goku's best training. I'm not even gonna cap because he had 3 years and he's just done a lot more with a lot less in pretty much all of the other trainings that I've
Yeah, I
mentioned or
forgot
I'm
about
gonna
that.
mention.
That
So
one.
you can just scratch this one right off the list.
Right.
And then we have the training Goku had in the hyperbolic time chamber with Gohan before the Cell games. It lasted 319 days, and here Goku, along with Gohan, completely mastered the Super Saiyan form and had a huge leap in power, even when compared to everyone else that went to the time chamber for longer than they did. Then the last training, and this one I guess can't be
Goku,
called a training
Gohan, Gohan hairline looks so
longer than
weird in
they
that
did.
zoom out angle. Like it looks so weird. Like
Then the last training, and this one I guess can't be called a training camp because it wasn't preparation for a specific fight or event, but this took place over 7 years, and the
oh,
other
that okay, that makes sense. So he's basically saying in preparation for, in strength, obviously, strongest. But I say the second is from, Goku traveling to Namek Yeah, that's probably first and second. Well, let me just keep playing.
World between the Cell Games and the World Martial Arts Tournament, but we're gonna add it in anyways just because it feels like it fits. During this time, Goku of course became a lot stronger and he learned Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3 towards the end of the training. Okay, so we just laid down the foundation. So which one of these training camps was the best? Let's get a drum roll in here, come on. I mean, I kinda gave it away from the thumbnail,
I
but
ain't even see the
yeah, the
thumbnail.
training in the time chamber.
Okay, I figured.
This is the best training for a lot of reasons. And let me just clarify what I mean when I say the best training camp. The criteria for best isn't just which camp Goku got the biggest jump in power, even though this training is definitely up there in that category, but it's also about the logic behind the training, Goku's mentality during it, and how it fit into the story at the time. So, why do I think that the time chamber was Goku's best training camp? Number one, it was the perfect location and duration for complete focus. Unlike the training for the androids where they had 3 years to prepare and were doing so around where Goku lived, you can imagine that training probably had its distractions, like having to get groceries, learning how to drive, having Piccolo steal your drip. But in the time chamber, Goku and Gohan were in there for just under a year, so they had a whole lot of time to prepare, but not too much time to ever let them lose an ounce of focus. Speaking of focus, the essence of the time chamber is that it's completely empty, devoid of anything, meaning all a Saiyan can do in there is train, so you can pretty much forget about distractions. The motivation was different too, because they knew that the enemy they were prepping for, Cell, was way more powerful than them and that he had the potential to become vastly more powerful while they were in the chamber. We see time and time again in the series that the higher the level of opposition the Z fighters are training for, the more they get out of that training. But really, the most important reason why this is Goku's best training camp is because Goku just trained really, really effectively. It wasn't just him and Gohan on the grind, going ham, training non-stop. There was a lot of thought behind the training process. This is evident because we can compare Goku's results to Vegeta's results from the time chamber. They both went into the chamber for a year. Vegeta was actually slightly stronger than Goku in the start, and he stayed in the chamber slightly longer too. And while Vegeta did improve leaps and bounds from his training, he was completely outclassed by Goku to the point where he still hadn't fully caught up to him even after going into the time chamber for a whole nother year. The reason for this, I believe at least, isn't because Goku has more inherent.
I think that's because of the Master Roshi training thing. I'll release that reaction probably later on next week or something. But I think it's because of that. Because if you overwork your body when it's time to train it, it'll be dead.
Talent than Vegeta, but it's in how they approach their training. Goku focused on making Gohan stronger because of the potential that Gohan had. Once he got Gohan up to the level of a Super Saiyan, and Goku himself became an Ascended Saiyan, he had the smarts to know to throw away that form and instead just focus on mastering their base Super Saiyan form. This improved their physical stamina, their ki consumption, and allowed them to train in peak levels for longer periods of time. It also paid dividends because it was only by mastering the base Super Saiyan form that the true Ascended Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, could be achieved later. Goku also valued Gohan as a training partner while mentoring him. All the time that it looked like he was just mentoring Gohan, Gohan was also pushing him past his own limits from constantly sparring with a young, determined Saiyan hybrid that had all the potential in the world. From the clips of Goku and Gohan training in the chamber, it also looked like Goku valued rest and recovery a lot. He didn't hesitate to stop a heated training session for a break to eat and relax. We saw them cracking jokes, freaking taking bubble baths. If anything, Gohan was the one too gung-ho and Goku had to stop him from overdoing it. And Goku's the
I agree.
grittier, fully blooded Saiyan between the two of them. But that's him tapping into that experience. Man, he was just so dialed in and he knew when and when not to train, and
Locked in.
that's actually the reason he cut their training short and didn't go into the time chamber again before the Cell Games. He could tell him and Gohan were starting to plateau and he didn't want to overtrain. And yeah, you could say, oh, this is DBZ, there are no plateaus, characters just get stronger and stronger. And for the most part, that's true, but there's definitely time frames where characters are a bit stuck at a certain level. Just going back to that Android Saga training, you can't tell me Goku didn't plateau at any point in those years. I mean, if he hadn't, he would have been a lot stronger than he was.
That's a great point.
But,
That's a great point.
anyways, back on topic, Goku was truly mindful and he checked off all the boxes of an effective training program during his stint in the hyperbolic time chamber. And the results showed. I mean, he seemed to fully mature as a fighter and as a man at that point in the story. Honestly, you could make a really strong argument that this was peak Goku.
Stop the cap.
Man.
Maybe not.
Hey, everybody that made it this far, I really appreciate it.
Completely
Thank you
changed the
very
subject.
much. Please leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, this is my first video. I'm going to make plenty more. And also leave a comment. Tell me, what do you think Goku's best training was? With that being said, everybody, I hope you have a blessed day. And I'm out of here.
Okay, I'll say this. I'm gonna make it short. I would say his best training, as in gains, obviously in the time chamber, it was the most Super Saiyan 1 and 2, and then they both mastered regular Super Saiyan 1. Without that, Cell would have took over. So that was the best one beneficially. But the well, I'll say that's where he got the most gains. But the most shocking one was when he was going to Planet Namek, and he was just he was escapade stronger than Vegeta in base. But literally a week ago, he had him on the ground, couldn't move, breathe, think, chest crushed, everything broken up. So now that's more astonishing. So I'd say the more surprising one was his trip to Namek, that time period, those 6 days. But obviously the one with the most gains, Cell Saga, right? And that's all I had to say. And you guys like the video, subscribe if you want, no pressure. And I'll see y'all sellouts on the next one.